Greetings, everybody. I wanted to show you a bench that we are making. I don't know if you can see me. I wanted to show you a bench that we're making. This is the preliminary stages of it. We just threw things together to see if it would work. We have a situation where we have a hill, and at the base of that hill is where we have our cedar log bridge. But we wanted to have a bench or something because that area down there where the bridge is a nice area. So we want to just sit someplace. But it's on a hill. So I believe it was Keith suggested some variation of an Adirondack chair. So this is what we've done. I just wanted to show you this design. So this is a rough idea. These are not part of it. Right here, this is going to be the seat. We're actually going to take these pieces and we're going to get two longer pieces and we're going to extend them out so that two people can sit on this comfortably. We will find more dowel pieces and just stick these on. We cut these to be 16 inches. No scientific reason. We just thought that that's what our butt was like, 16 inches, front and back, so we can move and be a little more comfortable. So we cut a whole bunch of cedar strips, and I didn't even shave them. I just cut them and tried to find pieces that were straight. So as you can see, I found a bunch. I went around the yard with all of these cedar trees, and in many of these cedar trees, there's pieces that are already kind of, well, they're dead, they're not growing leaves, but they're still hard, still solid. So many of these are pieces that we're not growing anything. So we found a bunch of those. We're just going to lay these on top of two supports. So I'm going to take these off. Again, we built these. I just wanted to see what it was going to look like before we totally finish it. Right now it's not totally finished, so it looks a little sloppy. I just want to show you how we're doing this. So we're going to set two logs going across, and those will sit on top. And then we went and I measured how high up the back goes in 3 feet, and then how high up this goes, and so we just kind of got an idea of how big we're going to need the pieces to be. And this front support, we're going to dig into the ground a little bit, so we made that a little long at the bottom. And then all we did was we found the two strong pieces here in the front, because that's going to support a lot of the weight. And then roughly a 3 foot 30-inch piece going across, and drilled holes going right here and in the back and down here so that it's strong. And then for our back support, we drilled a hole down at the bottom piece and this upper piece. And we just kind of guessed and positioned it where we might want it to be. And once we did that, we just got the dowels like we've done in all the other situations and banged them in. These dowels are just temporary holders. So as you can see, this is loose. This one over here is much more solid. So what we're going to do with this is, one, this piece we're going to cut off. And we're going to cut off these dowels just enough so that we can tie string or really strong paracord around it, and or maybe twine, and so that it stays solid forever. So we're going to twine this, twine, and then lay the seat on top of this, and then we're going to put pieces, probably pieces that we split across for the back. And we purposely got a piece that was curved because it's going to sit in the ground on a hill like this, and we wanted it to have a little bit of a lumbar support. The Adirondack chairs tend to just have a straight back, and after a while I find that I want a pillow back there just to give me a lumbar support. So we went and found pieces that are curved, and you're not going to find two perfect matched curves. If you wanted to, you just go cut these, but we wanted to use cedar and make it look very rustic, which is what we're doing. So it's just going to sit in a hill like this, and then, like I said, we're going to lay it down. Now, how we're going to do, we found a nice video online, and when we start putting it together, we're going to videotape this. Oh. It rained last night. So we're going to take and we're going to twine every one of these pieces. Down. So this is our variation of the Adirondack chair, and as we start to build it, we're going to take more video showing you exactly how this is done, and then later on we'll show you the final product. Hope it turns out well. It looks nice and it matches the cedar bridge. This right here is like a smaller version of our bridge, and it's going to look so good because people are going to come, they're going to walk from this area, see the bench, and then the bridge is going to be right there. So I believe it'll be a very nice addition to the trail. That's all I have. Thank you guys. I just finished stringing up the left side of the bench. And as you can see, we got the pieces on here. I'll go from a distance. So this is one side. That's what it's going to look like. And so I'm going to cut off those dowel pieces and that strange piece standing up, which was a mistake where we put our dowel holes. And so I'll take a picture in just a second with the dowels cut off, so it looks a lot cleaner. Looks a lot cleaner. The dowel piece is cut off. So this is one side. Kind of like the Adirondack chair, but as you can see, it's designed to sit on a hill. So I had to modify it somewhat. And that back that goes up really high, we might end up cutting that off, but it has a cool little funky thing right there. And so we may try to use that to hang something off of it. Find something creative to do with it versus just cutting it off. So we'll see what happens. Half of it's done. Greetings everyone. This is our staging for the seats of our modified Adirondack chair. Now what we're going to do, right now we haven't done anything. These are all just loose. And Shelly is currently trimming and cleaning off what's going to be the front board or the front log. So right now they're just sitting in here. We rearranged these and we kind of got super nitpicky and actually shaved off some of the worn off pieces. But we tried to rearrange these or arrange these in such a way, and it's not really clear. It's not very apparent, Shelly, but it seemed like it was apparent when we did it, how we had it a little bit fatter here and then the smaller ones in the middle, and the bigger ones, the smaller ones down here, the bigger ones in the middle, smaller, the big, so that it would kind of round out some butt action for two people.
Some rump area.
So I don't know if it's going to be apparent or not. And then we are going to put, sorry I'm walking with the camera so quick. these two big pieces. We're going to put these on the end just to kind of look like handles, and we're going to rearrange these. But if you look right there, it looks kind of cool with these two big mama jammas on the end.
Nice.
And so now we are going to string these up. We will film that. Shelly has become a string expert. And then I wanted to show you, this is what our staging was. This is the bench that my brother built. And then, so if you can look, I cut off the dowels, and those pieces that are sitting right here, those are just sitting on it. We're going to use these and stand them nice and clean, and that's going to be our backs. So these are nice and solid logs that I split, another tree that I had to cut. So this is it. This is our staging. Once we build that and strap all the little logs, the little dowels, I don't know what you would call them, onto the board, then all we have to do is lift that up and set it on here and strap it down nice and solid, and then this will be solid and it won't be moving. And once we have that, then we can just bring it down and mount it. So that's our plan. Also, you may have caught as I walked by, see this chair? We just built this chair. No nails, no anything. We used notching down there, but we just strung it together. And I will put a link to a really good video on how to build this. It's surprisingly simple, and it just slides in and it stands, and it is so strong. We can just sit on it. So love that thing. We're going to put that down on the spring, and so I'll give you a link to that. So right now Shelly is cleaning up what's going to be the front piece, and then we're ready to go. So as soon as she's done, we're going to start tying things up.
I'm ready.
Use the wood, the logs that we had, and if there was imperfections, we just worked with them and actually took advantage of them. We had this nice piece here that had a nice curve, and we had it sitting up here staging, and I don't know if you can really tell, but it has a nice little curve, so we thought this would be kind of nice to have on the front of the bench, to have this, and all these logs, all these pieces would have followed this natural curve, and it would have been really slick. But then when I took it off of the bench, when Shelly and I took it off the bench and we carried it, we noticed that immediately that just fell. So that curve went down. So all of our benefit of a curve looking nice and coming out the front, we did not expect that that would hold against just string. We figured over time this would just fall. So we're like, well, dang it, that was going to be awesome, the nice little curve in the front, but it's not going to work long term, it'll just fall. So then we got this stick, and then so we're going to mount that a certain way. So to determine how we're going to mount it, we just kind of put it on there and do what Shelly just did. She just kind of set it and let it fall to its natural spot, and that's it. So that right there is going to be the best place, the strongest place, so that when we set it on the supports, it's not going to move, it's not going to fall, it's not going to end up in another spot after we tie it, and after people sit on it hundreds and thousands of times over the next 10,000 years. So that's our plan. So now we're to the string. Turning this off. I'm going to show you how to do this. And Shelly has become an expert.
That's funny.
And we've both become experts, and we will put a link to the video that we've watched about 50 times. It's a Boy Scout video on how to do this. So it's not like we are like born natural nut tires. So we just watched a video, a YouTube video, like pretty much I've been doing in the last 5 years about everything. So this is, what are you doing?
I'm going to do the clove hitch.
Okay, let's zoom in.
We're zooming in on my really awful hands. Okay, so we're going to go over with the long one, and this will be the short side. So we're going to go over here with the short side, and we're going to go
on the inside
over here like this, and then we're going to go
over
again.
Nope. Yeah. Nope.
I don't see. I need to watch the video again. Okay. Over.
Yep. It goes on the inside.
Inside.
Then it crosses over.
It's going to cross over. And now, I gotta make it longer.
Yes.
So we're crossing over. We're gonna go under here. And then we're gonna go under this guy right here.
The piece that you crossed over.
This is my crossover piece.
But not under both of them, it looks like.
Just one. We're gonna go under just one of them.
All right.
And now we're going to.
Okay.
We're gonna make it really super tight.
Yes. And what kind of string do we have?
We have twine.
I found some paracord. And I think this is number 24.
24.
And it has tar. It's like a tar-based thing. It's not like tar. Like, is it on your fingers?
No, it's not on my fingers.
But it has a sticky feel, and it's
tacky.
Awesome. So when I first saw the clove hitch, I was thinking, there's no way that's going to hold. But now
it's holding.
It's holding, and maybe because the clove hitch is awesome, or because this tar is awesome, or maybe because of a combination of both. Because we had tried to untie that earlier.
It's a little tight.
It's sticking.
It's sticking.
So now
I'm going to wrap this around the long. We're going to wrap the short side around the long side a few times, and I'll probably end up cutting this off because I feel like that's too long now. But we're going to cut it off. So now we are going. We're going to get these lined up real nice.
And you're leaving about 2 inches hanging off?
I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to go over here. Okay. And under our main log here, we are going to make this loop.
And you're pulling it tight.
We're pulling this tight as we go. I'm going to keep this as tight as I can without knocking everything off this wobbly table.
Oh, wait. So I'm going to go on the other side. I need to see your loop thing actually again. So you brought it underneath. And I'm going to loop over this, and we're going to tighten this again. So which is this? Okay, so you brought this side underneath, and then the loose end, there's a word for that end. There's a word for this.
This is the long end here.
And there's a word for that, and if I were a knot tire, we'll look it up, and I'll put it in the notes.
Now we're going to go over.
The short end, the end that was tied, you brought over, came in, and then went over the side.
And we're going to keep doing the same thing here. So I'm going to go over this one now. I'm going to keep it real nice and lined up, and keeping the long end over here with our big twine. Bring that down. We're going to keep it nice and straight.
Wait, how does this look? Does this need to rotate?
Oh gosh.
So each of these pieces, we're going to try to stick it in the right way, and I'm going to try to hold it for you, but it's only because we're selectively anal about things.
Okay.
And I need to untie this dramatically.
Okay, we're going to go over this one and under this one, making
grabbing with your finger.
Loop.
Grabbing with your finger.
Here's our loop thing, and we're going to go over this. And we're going to make sure it's tight. Can we
do something?
This shouldn't be like that.
Can we change?
This should be like that.
Can we change something?
Yeah.
See this end right here?
It needs to be.
Wait, let me explain something.
Okay.
So see this end, how it's poking out? this is where our legs are going to be sitting.
Do we need to switch it around?
Yeah, let's do that. See, my thinking here is, I don't know if you can see, but that's kind of got a pokey end. Mm-hmm. And that's where all our legs are going to be hanging off.
All of our legs. All 50 of them.
So let's undo that and put the other end
now
on.
We're going to undo it. La, la, la.
So just loosen, 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 and turn.
Flippy-doo.
And then how's this set in there? Like that.
See, now this would be poking us in the reary.
Well, let's, yeah, turn it over.
There we go. That looks nice right there.
Whoa.
Very, very nice. Okay, now we're going to go down. We're going to keep it tight as we go.
Sorry about, I'm noticing the sun is getting into the camera. Okay.
Here comes our loop up over this. Keeping it super tight the whole time. Next stick.
Oh, hold it.
We got to get this out.
So we're
going
gonna
to have a holder.
We're gonna do this a few more times, and then I'm just gonna turn off the camera and hold the string for the tying expert to continue her magic.
Yeah,
her masterful.
Get this guy lined up next to the other one. Okay, I'm gonna go down, under, making a loop, loop over the stick, making it tight.
And then I notice you're making, each time you adjust those strings so they go straight down. Like that last.
Every time I'm gonna straighten these up and make sure these are going to be tight too.
And then this string right here could line up, or this one could go over. And it looks like we're gonna be able to move these afterwards too, doesn't it?
A little bit. I don't know.
A little
this
bit.
is pretty tight.
Yes. This string is so good because once you tie it, it stays. I love this string. We've used it to build that over there, and we just use that to tie it together.
Here's another loop.
Another loop.
And we already need another stick.
Wow, this is coming together. So well, that's poking up. Can you rotate that around?
Like that?
See how that's looked there? Yeah.
Okay. Over the stick.
Some people might like something poking up under the butt.
I do not.
Shelly doesn't, and she's the boss.
All right, I need another stick.
Oh, wow. So we had all these laid out nice and neat, and then we just bumped it, or we were sanding a little piece, and our whole planning just went all to hell.
Okay, and now...
Okay, so we're just going to continue and do this for many, many more sticks. We're continuing on. Same thing. So what we're doing each time is I'm just setting these sticks and just putting them down and watching where they end up naturally rolling, and the string's holding it. So this kind of falls right there. So once we have that location, we're doing that. But we notice that this back stick has a slight slope down. So if the stick is slightly fatter on one end, we're putting the fatter end, the wider end. We shouldn't say fat. Maybe they don't like to be fat shamed. These sticks.
I think sticks enjoy being fat.
Oh, I would think so, actually.
That makes them tougher.
So
and stronger.
We're putting the wider stick, the wider part, in the back, so the slope down is less apparent. So, in some cases, we don't have that luxury of being able to have one or the other. And this is, how's this feeling?
It's feeling great. Oh my gosh.
It is so.
I wish it's like it is not moving.
We're not tying that other side down yet. This stick seems a little big,
but
next to that small stick. Did we drop one out of the order?
Well,
because this little
chubby guy over here we took out.
Because look at this. Like here we have several small ones. So do you want to put this one next to there, and then?
Oh, well, sure.
I'm screwing up her rhythm.
Rhythm can be redeemed.
Same thing.
Always tight. Holding it tight all the time.
Pulling it tight.
Making the loop over your stick.
And then bringing this one up underneath. Boy, that's quite a difference. Our butt's going to feel that.
Our butt will adjust.
Our butt
Maybe.
will adjust. So now, one more explanation. The part that you're bringing over, you're holding it tight.
Very
you bring
tight.
it over. The part that you're bringing down
is a loop.
And then you're bringing that back over itself. The same log, the same piece. And then you brought that back around and you're ready for the next one. Okay.
Put it in here.
There's a little gap. Oh.
Like that. Is this right?
That's good.
Making it tight.
Okay. We'll check back a little later. Okay, last piece. Line it up to the front, to your left. Wait.
What?
Slide up to the front to your left. Look right there.
What?
Right there.
Oh.
Last piece. The camera is in the sun. It doesn't like sun. There.
I don't know how to end this.
This is the big mystery. How do you end? So it does a clove hitch on the video, the Boy Scout video. So we could, you know what? We may just want to keep going because we're going to end with this on the end. So let's just do it. Let's just tie it up. So we got one big Mama Jama piece at the end, on each end. I'm going to put this down here. And for whatever reason, we decided to wait to put these big pieces on because we thought we were going to tie them up differently. But it looks like we should have just started that way to begin with. Because continuing along, as we've done, it's really strong. So, do you remember your clove hitch magic?
No, not on the end. I never studied that.
So, I'm going to cut this. How long do you think I should cut?
I don't know, just do it long.
Okay, I think I remember.
There you go.
So, but we're going to do a little bit longer. Can you wrap it in here once? Go through there. So she's going around the outside. I'll hold it tight and you poke it in. And this is not science. This is what does it look like it's going to stick? Are you through? Pull that thing tight. Okay, now let's do one more round on the outside and then we'll do your clove hitch. So go all the way around. Yeah. Push. And then, wait, let's come on the outside of those.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're starting to clove hitch.
I don't know.
So you're going to bring this all over. And then do it again. Go around. Now remember, the next time around you're going to cross. Actually, we're going the wrong way. The other way, we went the other way. So
We're going to cross under one of those.
So yeah, loosen that last one you did. Just kind of loosen. Now you're going to go under. Yeah, we're at the very end. So under. The people who are expert in knots are probably going crazy right now. Like, gosh, you're doing it so wrong, so inefficient. Okay, you're pulling it tight, pulling it tight. So why don't you just do that again? You got plenty of string. So wrap that one, bring it around a little loose, what you have left. and then bring it back in. So she's doing a double clove hitch. Ooh, a double clove hitch. And then because this is tarred, this string,
I'm gonna wrap it around.
It really holds well. Then you're just going to wrap around so it doesn't come undone on its own. And then we could maybe even burn it and melt it, but that sometimes
I think this
causes
is
a hole.
as far as I can go.
Okay. Because we've already tied a knot, right now you're just cleaning things up so it doesn't dangle around. So we may just take our lighter and what do you do with that?
Go ahead. I don't know.
We were really prepared. We had everything set up. Oh, it's on the chair right there. Love the cedar. Look at those lines that she did. So make sure that you don't burn this single string here.
I'm going to lower this flame, but I don't know how.
I think it's already as low as it can be, and it's kind of crazy. So try not to get that string because it burns through quickly. So you're just melting this outer string. And it's squeezing. And yeah. Do that again. Because it's naturally pulling on itself. Yeah. If you could just hold that out with your finger and let that fire burn your finger in the string.
That would be great. Oh, I love it.
If we had pliers, we would work it. There. So you're just going to, all you're doing is burning it. We don't even have to do this. We already tied the knots. We just don't like the stragglers. We're being super anal at this point. Okay. Push it down and we are good. So look at this.
Nice.
And this is strong, solid, and it's not even tied to the other side yet. Awesome. And we should have started it here because I thought we were going to need to tie this a special way. So that's why we waited. That's a mistake that anyone watching this video should not repeat. So tie it down. How's it look in the front?
Start it now. We can tie this side down and add the other side eventually.
I like that idea. So look at all the stringage in the front.
I'll probably straighten up the strings and make them a little perfecter more.
Yeah. So we'll get. Wait. Uh-oh. The OCD is going to be driven crazy. Do you see?
It's okay.
No, there's one OCD issue that's going to drive me crazy. So we're going to need to get a black magic marker and fix it.
What? A black magic marker?
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see? Anyone watching it? How do we miss it?
How did we do that?
Oh, man. That was probably when I was talking to her and disrupting her. All right. Yeah, I can't have that. We're going to have to draw it on. Okay.
Oh, that's bad.
We're going to do the very same thing to the other side, except we're going to start tying this down just like we started tying this up. And then we will just continue all along.
I think that is so cool.
And this back is less perfect. And I think we're just going to leave it like that because the imperfection adds personality to all these things. Okay. Thanks, Shelly. Good work.
And you also were.
Okay, we just had a major lessons learned, and someone watching this might have already picked up on this. We started this with two options. One is to do what we did. Bring it all the way down and do one side, and then come back and do this other side. And we thought, well, if we get one side done, then it'll make sure that all the pieces fall into place easier. Well, it would have been much easier had we done both sides as we added a log each time and just did both sides as we walked down. Because now we're having to keep the string underneath because we can't keep bringing the string up. If we kept bringing the string up, it would loosen that up there, what we've already done. So we are trying, Shelly is, successfully trying. So she's bringing it down, and it's a lot more difficult this way. Let's move this stick to the other side to the support log. If you lift that up, I'll bring it down. Okay. So what she has to do now is bring the string up and kind of poke it up underneath. And if I was videotaping, that would actually help, but just let her do all the work. And so we're having to work with that string being underneath this, and then as she pulls it up, she's able to bring it down. Did we reach a standstill? Oh, because we can lift this up, you can bring it around. And then she's pulling it down. And then you're grabbing what you just pulled. I don't know if you can see that. So move this finger in a second. She's grabbed that side. And now you're pulling it out, looping. So this is a lot harder had we just done it at the same time as the other side. It is working though, and it's still just a solid, right? It's just going to take a little more work. So lesson learned, do both sides, do one stick at a time, both sides, instead of down one side and then down the other. Okay, it's a good thing that we're here to teach everyone what not to do.
But now I think we just do 2 loops.
Oh, so she might end up doing 2 loops, 1 loop around, and then another loop. All right, if we come up with an awesome way of doing this, there probably is, we'll share it. Shelly came up with an interesting way of doing this, all working from underneath. So this is her loop around. She goes underneath every time she's yanking down there. And we learned a lesson. We pulled this whole thing off the edge of our table. So we don't have to fight with working our hands in that space. So she comes up and we pull the string up. And so there's a tight end on my left, on your left, and there's a loose end. So we take the loose end and we bring it underneath, we lift it up, and so we just bring it over that way. So the entire time we are working with that string underneath all these sticks.
Now I'm trying, I gotta tighten it as best I can right now.
So she's pulling it tight underneath.
And here comes the...
And then now the loop.
Loop over. Tight again.
She's holding it
back
tight.
Up.
And then I try to like straighten up these strings. And then I reach down, try to find the string.
The loose end.
I got a tight end and a loose end. And then she grabs.
It's going to go under there, and I'm going to grab the loose end and pull it tight again.
And I'm going to try to straighten it up.
Ready? Because I'm going to tighten it.
Go. It is lined up.
Okay, and now I'm going to do the loop over the other side.
And the loop, so she's doing down here.
I got the...
She pulls tight. And then I need to go to the other side. So she brought it around.
And pulling tight again. Pull them taut towards you, Rob.
Yep, all of those are not moving. Okay, now coming up through this gap.
Here, I got it with my finger, holding it really tight underneath. I'm going to grab
the loose end.
The loose end. Okay, now I'm up here and I'm lost again.
So here's the loose end.
Loose end. Put your end over. Alright, I'm going to pull it really super tight, and we're going to do the loop over the end.
Okay, so that's what we're doing. We just did like 5 in a row. We're going to keep doing that.
Here's the loop over the end.
That might have been a better way of doing this all along. So we thought it was a total screw up, and this seems to be working. But this time I'm actually helping her a lot more. Last time I was just watching her, kind of cheering her on.
He's the supervisor.
That's right. I get paid more to just say, yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
Put it out, pull it up. Yeah, what you're doing.
Do
Yeah.
what you do. I don't know how to do it, but you do.
I'm going to go file my report. She does adequate work.
Adequate. I get a C. I'm average.
That way I can save money. I get my bonus because I save money. She's doing all the work. She's doing wonderful. Came up with a better system. But if I say adequate, my bonus is bigger. I don't know if anyone knows that's how the system works, but that's how the system works. Okay, I digress.
All right.
Okay, we're going to continue with this, and we'll show you when it's done. Okay, after doing this about 10 times or whatever it is, we've kind of gotten a nice system. So it's down at the bottom. I lift up. She pokes up. I grab that. That's the one that we messed up on. Look at that. I grab it, loop it around, and then before she holds tight, I line up with my finger, and then she just pulls it tight. And then she loops it around. I line it up with my finger. She pulls it tight, and I lift up the next one, pull the string, loop, and she usually grabs the others there. She loops, and then I hold it, and then she's yanking tight down at the bottom, underneath, pulling it tight. Goes the loop around. I line it up. She's pulling it tight. I lift up. I grab this end, loop around, line it up. Wait a minute, loosen that. There. Boy, there are some people that work in factories that just do this all day long. Okay, loop. This is very zen-like. There, holding it tight. Okay, I think we got it enough. We have finished stringing up all the little pieces. So that's what it looks like. That thing, how's it feel?
It is very cool.
It's not moving. These pieces are not. Wow, look at that.
It is sturdy.
Just this little string. Number 24 paracord with tar or something on it, and it has a 240-pound tensile strength. I'm just going by what I remember reading about this stuff. That's awesome in its imperfection. Let's just go set it on top of that and see what it looks like on the bench. Now remember, we just have what's going to be our backs. Those are going to be in the back, but they're just holding it because we have nothing holding this together right now. So one of these sides is a little bit smoother. So that's going to sit on there, not on those pieces, but it's going to look like that. From a distance, that looks cool. You want to pick up one of those boards? Pick this guy up, and then hold it on the back. And we're going to have 4 backs plus some other weird, cool, curvy thing. And we're just going to sit. Yeah, the whole thing. Nothing is holding that together right now. What's going to hold it together is when we strap this bench onto the beams, so the supports. Once we're strapped that in, then it'll be more solid. And then when we put these on or tie these on, then we will have a really cool little bench.
Okay.
So next picture is when this is strapped on and our back is on. See you later. The bench is finished. I just wanted to highlight a few of the things that we have done. Some of the things in the back there. The top thing is a little, Shelly happened to like the stick at the top, and so we threw it on there. I carved off the bark on 2 of those and left it kind of on the others. I'm not sure if I like how that looks. We can always fix that later. But this is what we did. So each of these right here, I didn't videotape it, but I started with a slip knot. I could have started with a clove hitch. Started with a slip knot, tied it tight, and then all I did is I brought it around the back and down, and then out from here, around, let's see, around the back, and then up, and then around the back, down, around the back, up. So I just did this continually loop, down, back, up, around, down, back. I did that, if you see here, 3 times. I did that 3 times. I did that on each of these. Tied it really tight, and it's really nice and solid. Oh, I also, I don't know if you can see, but right in here, right there, I notched. I created a small notch just so that that string can have a little bit of something to grab onto, so it doesn't slide down easily. And I found when we built this that it was a little wobbly going this way. So we put on a cross beam. I was thinking maybe 1 would be enough, and it wasn't. It was okay, but I sat on it and I started playing around and jumping on it and stuff just to see how strong it was, and it was still tilting a little bit. So I found a curvy piece, one that curves behind and around, so I didn't have to like notch anything. And so we put in 2 crosses, and now this thing is really strong, and everything is doweled in. If you look here, we have dowels and string, no screws, no nails, dowel and string, this entire thing. And I like the dowels. The dowels, I was watching something about woodworking, and there were some Japanese temples made out of nothing but wooden dowels, and they said something about the dowels are wood, and so as the wood gets moisture and dryness and it gets hot and cold, it expands and contracts. Well, dowels do that with the wood. Screws, nails, they don't. And as a result, those buildings were standing for thousands of years and with no nails or anything, and they're huge, multi-story buildings. So I just like to use dowels. One of the things that we're going to have, I made a mistake, lesson learned. This front support is a little long because I measured it to the top right here, and I didn't take into consideration at the top right there. I didn't take into consideration I was going to have another 3 or 4 inches of piece on the top. So we're going to need to dig this into the ground, or kind of like a rock here, we're going to have to put a step or a little landing where this is going to be. So this is our bench. It's going to be sitting on the side of a hill, kind of like an Adirondack chair, but modified. So I'm just going to go over one last time and let you look at all the little details. All the dowels that were in there, at least for these cross supports, I took the string and still wrapped it around it so it still stays together. Because the dowels, unfortunately, they can't be super tight on both sides. They're tight. I found pieces that were just barely too big, and then I got a knife and I just kind of carved it away little by little until it fit in there. And we thought about cutting off those pieces in the back, see how they're all different lengths, but we decided to just let the imperfection be the perfection. We're using that phrase a lot, the imperfection be the perfection, because I don't know, it's just kind of, it could be an excuse, but as you can see, this is not perfectly lined up. It's got little crazy bendy things, and that's because we're just using what we have out there. All these trees right around here are trees that I trimmed and cut out the lower branches or dead branches, and that's what all this is made out of, all these pieces.